the best for each individual. But sometimes when you start looking at, okay, what's best for each individual, okay, let's provide food and shelter. Well, that's communism, and that's, people can't run from that fast enough. People cannot stand it. Ask anybody in Russia. So we have this country, and now it's almost a two-fronted war that you're losing. You're losing out on one side. You're rejecting the greatest country, the greatest idea that ever happened. And then on the other side, you're kind of pissing on the person that just lost a loved one or had a son or daughter fight for this country, risk everything for what that flag represents, and you're protesting it because of that. And when we see these coffins, it's like, I'm sorry, but you can say I'm a geek or whatever, but I think that's an awesome thing, is to respect that flag, respect that person. And a lot of citizens, I'm like that. I'm one of these guys that I couldn't get into law enforcement because of I have diabetes. But I'm wired like, I just, when something happens, I pulled people out of burning cars before, out of houses I went in for cats in houses that are on fire, and the list just goes down. And I believe because I have that heart, God puts things in front of me, situations, and it's not that I'm braver than anybody. I'm just wired different, for somebody to say that, and if I was in law enforcement or the military, it would manifest itself in a certain way. But for somebody to say that that's evil or that's bad, it's funny. I just saw my wife drive by right now. And somehow there's something, I'm just for this imperialistic America, and I want to help people. I got a servant's heart, and I think a lot of these people that died, they had that same heart. I've hear stories of people covering people, sticking around. I love that stuff, and I just wish those people had more at their disposal to stop certain things, so they wouldn't be sitting ducks. The people like me that, I wish that there could be some sort of thing where if a school shooting goes down, and if I just happen to be in the area, or somebody like me that passes a 3-month course could show up at the school, and you pull your badge out or whatever, like a volunteer, and can address if there's a shooter on campus or something. Because sometimes police can't get there on time. There's only so many. Especially if somebody backs into your car, it takes them 2 days to get there, because they're busy writing stupid tickets. But, that being said, I do love the good side of policing. That stuff I'm in love with. I'm a geek about it. I just don't like the other side. I think that our materials could be used better. Our resources can be kind of focused on crime, because I think little crimes become big crimes if they're neglected. And we tend to get bored with little crimes and don't really want to put the resources in them. But in any event, this thing happened, and Americans did what they did best, is they run towards the bullets. I love that. I know some countries, when I see stuff go down, I cannot stand when I see a video of a girl that's being dragged out of a liquor store and the guy's just sitting there, and let's say he's from a different country or whatever. It's like, it's just normal for him to stand there. And I'm thinking, no, this is the John Wayne country. We stop this kind of thing. And wherever that stuff happens, it's a snowball effect. It'll happen more and more and more because nobody's stopping it. And I think wherever it's stopped, it'll happen less, as long as you let us stop it. Let's say we stop 100 crimes because of pistols, and the one time that let's say casualty of war, something else happens, something bad happens. Let's not negate all those 100 times that the situation was made better by having a responsible person use a weapon. And that's the key. I'm not saying give weapons to everybody. Look, the bad guys are going to have things at their disposal to kill people. That's just, guns are illegal in Chicago and Washington, D.C., and they got the highest gun murder rate. They say, oh, well, they steal them from somewhere else. Yeah, you know what? And police carry guns, so guess what? all the police officers' homes are going to be. People are going to get, or they're going to go down to Mexico and get them. There's going to be they'll say, oh well, guns are too easy to get, and we need to make it harder. Well, if you make it harder, all you're going to do is put the guns on the black market, because that's not big right now because guns are easy to get. Luckily, we could track them. But as soon as you get rid of this market, you're going to have the underground market. It's going to spring up like nobody's business. And then people are going to have the good guns, with all the fun stuff on it, flash suppressors and big magazines. And that's going to be more readily available. But nobody does that right now because you can go buy, a version of gun. So when people say, oh, we're going to ban them, and eventually at the end of the road, it's going to be, you can only have one musket with one round. And I think it's going to be to coin a phrase, the gunpowder spring, it's just semi-automatic spring. You're going to have Uzis and AKs and available in every trunk at your local mechanic shop. He's going to be like, all right, come here, I'll make some real money. I've seen it before. I've had guys try to sell me, when I lived in Rialto, Uzis before, and in a nice little case and stuff, and that was a neat thing, but there's not a need for it, so it's pretty rare. But no, I think that will explode, just like if you make marijuana legal, which we did, guess what? There's less drug dealers. Take away marijuana, guess what? You got drug dealers. And the same thing's going to be with gun dealers. You're going to have the legal, you get rid of the legal, and you're going to get the illegal. And this is all in the name of safety. And I applaud people that are trying, but again, we got to do it smart. Not what feels good, what's smart. All right, guys. Talk to you later. God bless America. And it was driving people crazy. I'm sure there was one guy that thought, I could take that shot. And I wonder if he was second guessing himself and thinking, boy, if I only had an AR-15, I think I could suppress that fire. And I'd be the guy stupid enough to sit out there and do it. I'd probably be dead too.